Varen Xiros stood on the observation deck of the Astral Wanderer, his gaze fixed upon the sprawling expanse of the cosmos. The distant stars glimmered like celestial embers, their faint light barely penetrating the darkness that enveloped the spacecraft. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss, an unease that had settled deep within his bones. Captain Zahn Theron's voice crackled over the intercom, summoning the crew to the bridge. Varen tore his eyes away from the mesmerizing view and made his way through the dimly lit corridors. The ship's artificial gravity seemed to fluctuate with each step, a subtle reminder of their isolation in the void. On the bridge, the crew gathered around the main holographic display. Dr. Nara Vendrix, the ship's xenobiologist, pointed to a peculiar anomaly on the screen. "We've detected an unidentified energy signature emanating from a nearby asteroid field," she explained, her voice tinged with a mix of excitement and trepidation. Luca Sidran, the tech specialist, chimed in. "The signature is unlike anything we've encountered before. It's almost as if it's beckoning us to investigate." Varen felt a chill run down his spine at Luca's words, an inexplicable sense of foreboding washing over him. Captain Theron deliberated for a moment before making his decision. "We'll proceed with caution. Varen, Nara, and Luca, you'll form the away team. Asha, keep a close eye on their vital signs and mental states." Asha Corvin, the ship's empathic counselor, nodded solemnly, her eyes reflecting the concern that permeated the room. The away team prepared to embark on their mission, donning their spacesuits with a sense of trepidation. Varen couldn't shake the feeling that they were about to cross a threshold from which there would be no return. As they boarded the shuttle, the silence hung heavy in the recycled air, broken only by the hum of the engines. The asteroid field loomed before them, a chaotic maze of tumbling rocks and debris. Luca deftly navigated the shuttle through the treacherous terrain, his focus unwavering. As they approached the source of the anomaly, a strange pulsating light began to fill the cabin, casting eerie shadows on the faces of the crew. They landed on the surface of a large asteroid, its jagged edges and deep crevices creating a foreboding landscape. Varen led the way, his heart pounding in his chest as they approached a gaping cavern. The energy signature was stronger here, an almost tangible presence that seemed to beckon them forward. Inside the cavern, they discovered a pulsating crystalline structure that seemed to defy the laws of physics. It towered above them, its surface shimmering with an otherworldly iridescence. Dr. Vendrix approached the structure, her scientific curiosity overriding her initial hesitation. As she reached out to touch the surface, a sudden burst of energy enveloped them all. Varen felt a searing pain in his head, as if 1,000 needles were piercing his skull. He stumbled back, his vision blurring and distorting. The last thing he saw before losing consciousness was the concerned faces of his crewmates, their voices muffled and distant. Varen awoke in the medical bay, his mind reeling from the encounter on the asteroid. Dr. Vendrix and Luca were already awake, their faces etched with concern and confusion. They recounted their experiences, each of them having felt an inexplicable presence during their unconsciousness. Captain Theron and Asha Corvin listened intently, trying to make sense of the situation. Asha, with her empathic abilities, sensed a growing darkness within Varen, a foreign presence that seemed to be taking root in his mind. She warned the others, urging them to keep a close eye on him. As the days passed, Varen began to experience vivid, unsettling dreams. Visions of an ancient cosmic entity filled his mind, whispering secrets of the universe and promising untold power. He found himself drawn to the anomaly, a growing obsession that started to consume his every waking thought. Dr. Vendrix and Luca worked tirelessly to analyze the data they had collected from the crystalline structure. They discovered that it was emitting a strange, bioneural frequency that seemed to resonate with the human mind. They theorized that the anomaly was attempting to establish a symbiotic relationship with a compatible host. Varen's behavior grew increasingly erratic, his actions and decisions becoming more reckless and irrational. The crew became divided, with some advocating for restraining him, while others believed that he was their best chance at understanding the true nature of the anomaly. As Varen's connection to the entity grew stronger, he began to exhibit strange, otherworldly abilities. He could manipulate matter and energy, his mind reaching out to touch the very fabric of reality. The crew watched in awe and terror as he demonstrated his newfound powers, unsure whether he was still the same person they had known. Dr. Vendrix, determined to find a way to sever Varen's connection to the entity, delved deeper into her research. She discovered that the anomaly was, in fact, a cosmic parasite, a being that had existed for eons, feeding off the psychic energy of countless civilizations. Asha Corvin, using her empathic abilities, attempted to reach out to Varen, to bring him back from the brink of madness. She found herself drawn into his mind, a labyrinthine landscape of surreal visions and cosmic horrors. She witnessed the true nature of the parasite, a being of unfathomable power and malevolence. Luca Sidran, realizing that time was running out, devised a plan to use the ship's experimental quantum entanglement drive to disrupt the parasite's connection to Varen. It was a risky gambit, one that could tear the fabric of space and time itself, but it was their only hope. As the crew prepared for the final confrontation, Varen's mind began to unravel. The memories of his past, his very identity, were being erased and replaced by the parasite's alien agenda. He struggled against the invasion, clinging desperately to the remnants of his humanity. In a desperate final attempt to save Varen and the galaxy from the parasite's influence, the crew set their plan into motion. Luca activated the quantum entanglement drive, sending a pulse of energy through the ship and towards the asteroid field. The effect was immediate and devastating. The parasite's connection to Varen was severed, but the backlash sent shockwaves through the fabric of space and time. The Astral Wanderer was caught in the maelstrom, the ship's structure groaning and buckling under the immense pressure. Varen, his mind suddenly free from the parasite's control, collapsed to the floor, his memories and identity slowly returning. He watched in horror as the ship began to tear itself apart, the crew fighting desperately to keep it together. In a moment of clarity, Varen realized what needed to be done. He made his way to the airlock, his steps heavy with the weight of his decision. He knew that the only way to ensure the parasite's destruction was to sever its connection to him completely. As the airlock doors closed behind him, Varen looked out into the void, a sense of peace washing over him. He had been given a second chance, an opportunity to save his crew and the countless lives that would have been lost to the parasite's insatiable hunger. With a final breath, he stepped out into the cold embrace of space, his sacrifice a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of an uncaring cosmos.